Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to encourage you to spend absolutely no money at all. Okay, that's probably not strictly true because I am going to be sharing some products that I have on my face, but the general premise is that I desperately wanted to place a Merit Beauty order. I'm sure you have not escaped the adverts. Everyone's using it. I've just been completely sucked in by the advertising, and I was talking in a vlog the other day and said, I just kind of can't get my head around the fact that I'm convincing myself that I need more products to achieve their like no makeup look. The whole thing is very minimal. It's really appealing to me, but surely I have enough makeup. Now I do have one cheat because one of these products is new. I did plan on making this video anyway, but I did just purchase this foundation stick from Primark. I think it was only maybe £3. Not 100% sure, but definitely considerably cheaper than the one from Merit, and I'll do a little review of that like within this video for you. But the majority of this is going to be me trying to find things in my makeup collection that already kind of ticks the boxes of the products that I was considering buying from Merit, and just generally trying to do like a full face of the kind of makeup that their advertising is making me feel like I need new products to achieve. I do just want to briefly mention one particular YouTuber whose video I watched, and I chatted with Alana on Instagram as well. I'll link her video below, but she's a really trustworthy reviewer. I would absolutely trust her honest opinions on things. And if you are looking for a really well-rounded review from someone who's tried the products, I would recommend you check out her video. So one of the hero products that Merit seem to have in their line is the Great Skin Serum. And from what I gather from other people talking about this online, I pretty much have something that does exactly this. And that is the Pixie Essence Oil, also the Vitamin C Priming Oil I use all the time. I would just play around with the serums and the oils that you already have and just see what potentially you might be kind of overlooking, because I really love an oil underneath my foundation now, mostly because it really helps to avoid any kind of settling into dryness, which I really appreciate as I'm getting older. If I was buying just one thing, it would be the Minimalist Foundation Stick. It's described by most reviewers as medium buildable and seems to give a nice coverage for a stick foundation with a natural finish. That said, it's widely remarked how little you get in the tube. They did improve this recently, but it's still a really small amount of product, especially for the money. I'm using this new moisturising stick foundation from Primark, and I actually wish I'd picked it up in a deeper shade as well to use as a contour, because I really like the formula. The colour I'm using is Cool Sand, and I swatched it alongside my very perfect shade match Calico from number 7. For those of you who are a similar shade to me, you can see it's a lot more pink, but the coverage is really light, so it's fairly forgiving. I forgot to press record on the first half of my face, so here you can see the comparison. While it's light, you can definitely see how it's evened everything out, and although it's not undetectable, it's very natural. On the second half of my face, I did apply multiple swipes, but it didn't feel like a lot of product. It wasn't heavy on my skin, and it blended out beautifully. I'll come back to you later today with an update on wear time for those of you who'd like a foundation review, but that's really a bonus because the idea is that you may already have something in your makeup bag that would kind of tick the box of the thing that you're wanting to buy. And in this case, before I bought this foundation stick, I was just going to use a concealer to kind of like dot all around my face and blend out for a lighter, easy on the go kind of base. From what I can tell, the bronzer is a fan favourite, but it's quite sheer, something I would be interested in because I'm pretty heavy-handed. But I have this Illamasqua gel sculpt that I rarely reach for. This actually blended beautifully with the foundation stick. I think perhaps my previous experiences with this were over a heavier base that like set on the skin, whereas that foundation stick really doesn't set on the skin. This seemed to kind of like blend together on my face, like become one, if you know what I mean, rather than sitting on top of it. Great reminder to go back to those products that you'd cast aside. Our skin changes, as do our routines, but also often trends edge their way in and out of our psyche, and we end up with a new perspective on something we decided wasn't for us at all. Listen, not everything's about packaging, but this does not look like a luxury product. Again, this is something that I've heard a lot about. It's a really hyped up product from the range, but the blush is in a plastic packaging, and the reviews that I've seen, even though they've changed the packaging recently, it's still people are saying that it feels cheap, and it doesn't look expensive to me. A premium product, a luxury product, packaging is part of that. That's part of what you're actually paying for. The general idea is that it looks dewy. It's like a glossy blush. But from what I gather, it's almost balmy. So for some people, that stickiness is just going to be like a flat no. It also sounds like it doesn't last very long, and it moves your foundation when it applies directly to the skin, which is as it's designed to be used. I already have these Pixie blushes, which sound like the closest thing in my collection. They're the same kind of thing, direct to the skin, a little bit tacky. They're in the form of a moisturising balm. I've really enjoyed using these. They're like just really quick on the go blush. But if you don't have a balmy blush, there's nothing stopping you mixing in a little lip balm, like a little bit of Carmex or even Vaseline with a cream or liquid blush to get a similar glossy look with stuff you've already got. The mascara wouldn't have been in my cart, but I looked at what I had and subbed it in for this travel size Bobbi Brown based on the wand alone. I was actually quite impressed with this. It's not something I'd usually pick up because I prefer a plastic wand. Kept it in my collection when I did my big clear out at the beginning of the year because it was a little mini, but I really liked it. Once I curled my lashes, it gave a really lovely look. Again, probably wouldn't have used it. I'm gonna say at this point I was thinking of using it again, but if you stay tuned till the very end, if you're interested in the full face, like how it wears review, I have some thoughts about this mascara. I don't even want to admit to you how long I've had this lip oil. It's from Asda, and that's all I'm telling you. I'm certain it's no longer available. Again, the lip oil is not something that I was excited about from Merit, so we'll just breeze past it. I just needed something to kind of tick that box. A viewer suggested that I put everything in a cute makeup bag, obviously that I already owned, to help make it feel new. And given that Merit are touting a very simple makeup bag, free with your first order, as some kind of revolution, I think that's a great idea to round out this exercise. I'm obviously not intending to slam Merit or discourage you from giving them a try in the future. The purpose of this video is to remind you just to take a beat before checking out that cart. Wherever you're shopping right now, it could be a lipstick, could be a pair of jeans. I personally not only get swept away by advertising and hype, but I also lean on shopping as a coping mechanism in times of stress and really low mood. And so I say this with only love and understanding. You probably don't need whatever it is that you want to buy today. Look at what you have and try something new. Don't buy something new. That said, stay tuned for a wear test on the new foundation I literally bought this week. Right, we are 4.5 hours in. I feel like that mascara is getting a little bit smudgy, but that's not what we're here for. We are talking about the foundation. We're not judging the oiliness because it's incredibly dewy, but it was to begin with. I mean, if we get oilier than this, then maybe we'll talk, but it's not breaking down. I feel like I've lost some coverage underneath my eyes, but that's hard to say whether or not that's the foundation or the mascara because I look tired. Now I know this goes slightly against the purpose of a wear test, but I did also want to see what it looks like if you kind of touch up with it throughout the day, because for me, the way that it applied, I feel like this would be a really good on the go foundation, something to keep in your bag. It's really, you know, it's not going to leak. It's really convenient. And it blended out really nicely with my fingertips. So I'm just going to apply a little bit extra around my nose because that tends to be, I'm a face toucher. That tends to be kind of where I lose coverage and get kind of a bit more redness throughout the day. I'm really happy with how that's just applied, just kind of like quickly. Added a little bit of something. Should we do a little bit under the eyes? Let's do a little bit under the eyes. I also for sure expected more creasing than this because it's not heavy at all, but it is moisturising. It kind of has like a slightly greasy feel to it. Like I've got nothing left on my fingers right now. So it's not really, really greasy, but it definitely has a kind of greasy feel to it as it's applied. So I kind of thought that that I'd just be like lines everywhere. And it's not at all. It's 11:30. It's 11:30. It's 11:30. It's 11:30. More than 12 hours now. Let me just turn this light down. Sometimes the light kind of just like perfects everything. It's definitely shiny. This is going to be completely down to preference. If you'd asked me 5 years ago, I would have hated this. Now I would rather look shiny than dry, but also, you know, 12 hours. It has settled a little bit around my nose and like my chin where I get a little bit dry, but it's worn away fairly evenly. It's definitely something I'd throw in my bag for touch-ups throughout the day if I was going to be out all day. And it's something that I would probably keep in my bathroom for that quick want to put myself together, even everything out in the morning look when I'm not really wearing a lot of makeup. It is really the perfect no makeup, but it is 100% going to come down to preference, because this is moisturizing. This is not something, if you are already oily and you like a matte finish, you are not going to like this. But I think I'm going to get a lot of use from this. Hopefully this has been useful for those of you maybe considering Merit, or maybe that just wanted a little bit of, I hate to say de-influencing, but that is the trend. But really, I would say this is more kind of intentional consumerism, intentional spending, really more thinking a little bit before you quickly check out, grab your card and spend money, because I know I'm incredibly guilty of that, but especially these days, you just made to feel like you need everything. And the Merit Beauty thing just stood out to me as, this is completely insane. I thought, if I feel this way, having so much makeup at my disposal to play around with, I still feel like I need extra things to create a no makeup look. This is nuts, this is nuts. None of us are immune, although maybe at some point I might try something from Merit Beauty, I want to try it because I feel like, oh, that's a little bit different. Maybe I would really benefit from that. Maybe that's different to anything else I've tried. I want to try it for those reasons rather than because I've been somehow convinced by advertising and other influencing forces that I actually need it to create something that I absolutely can create without it. If you made it this far, if you watched this entire video, you are my people. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.